right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another part of Lecture 4. Today we want to talk about pre-processing. I've been wanting to get to this and finally I got to this video. If you recall back from our previous lecture when we were calculating the TDF IDF for our data, me particularly, I think I was using one data set. Today I'll use the Wall Street's bets data set. If I run the TDI IDF, from our previous lecture, our previous video, on the Wall Street bets data set that I have and you guys have, this is the word cloud right here. Let's start with this word cloud. This is the word cloud I get right here. Huh. Interesting. If you could zoom in, you see like there's some little words over. I mean, they're like pixelated at this point. There's so much in. I got a square here. Whatever the hell is going on. I have oops up here. That's cool. I have one URL. Another smaller URL right here. Not smaller, but smaller font. Looks like a URL. So this is pretty much messed up. I wonder if you guys are dealing the same thing with your data. If I come to my bar chart, let me zoom in my bar chart a little bit so it's easy to see. The bar chart shows that my TF-IDF for oops is the highest. All right, great. I can work with that. We'll see where that leads. But check this one out. We got like a bull here. A bull image. Let me zoom up a little bit. If I can zoom in. Not letting me zoom in. There we go. Zoom. Yeah, see that? What is that? I think that's a bull. And then we have a yep. This one's missing. This one's a URL. Right? This one's rip. Whatever's happening here. So there's a bunch of stuff happening here. I mean, I guess rip, wait, that's fine. But these URLs, and it kind of goes out. Right? What is this? We have to clean up the data. We have to clean up the data. I mean, we did before talk about, oh, here's my square right here. Again, I don't know what the hell is going on there. We did talk about before removing stop words, and I'll show you guys again how to do that. This time we're going to use spacy to remove our stop words. But the other issue at hand here is there's other cleanup that needs to happen, right? There's other text, return carriages, white space. In this case, we have URLs, maybe some emails that might show up that are messing up our analysis. Maybe we want to keep it, maybe we don't, right? So in this case, I want to technically remove it. I want to see how this looks without it. So this is what pre-processing essentially is, right? And the next stage after pre-processing would be finally our what we call 2 grams, 3 grams phrases. We finally get into phrases and parts of speech and lemmas, right? The heart of natural language processing. So if we come here to my file, I will read in my Wall Street bets in, but let me process all the libraries I need. And as you can see, our list of libraries has been growing. Spacy, got my collection, word cloud, matplotlib, and seaborn. This part we've already done. If you do it again, it'll be smooth. And I'm ready to rock. So now at this point, what I want to do is I want to make sure I want to read in my Wall Street bets. And I'll read in my table. And you guys can read in your table any way you want. I don't know if you guys have it in a pickle format or a CSV format. Boom. Oh, sorry. PD dot. There we go. And I have my Wall Street bets ready to rock. Bam. All right, cool. From here, obviously, if you guys remember, our first step we want to do is let's go ahead and make everything a lowercase. Like here we have our text. And this is really the column we're dealing with right here. Let's go and make it lowercase. I'll call this text lowercase. And we're going to start saving this. I think at the end of this, I'll save it so we don't have to keep doing this again. So I'll save it as lowercase. And I'm simply going to take dot text, dot string, dot lower. Very straightforward. Boom. I got my lowercase now. All right. So from here, right, my next step is if we take this as an example right here. Let's take this example right here. This line right here. As you can see, there's a lot of stuff happening in this line of text right here. Right? The Café Saint Raphael is located in Côte d'Azur. So not only do we have like text different ways, look, we have this little weird symbol over there. We got this weird accent right here. I got another weird accent there. I got this weird kind of quote thing. It's not like my standard quote. So I have a bunch of things going on here. Stuff that I don't, that we'll call this a carriage return. So there's a bunch of things that I technically want to do to figure out, hey, this is kind of really, really weird. Now, one other thing I want to show you, obviously we're going to leverage our regular expressions a lot. In this case, they're really a godsend. So this is a real cool kind of, if we call it, pattern of stuff that the regular expressions are looking at. Like weird type of accents, weird type of, not necessarily accents, but weird type of symbols is looking up. Notice this time, I'm using this slightly different than we did this last time. Right, last time, and I'll use it that way as well. But this time I'm going to pre-compile it and call it like in a variable word and just use this word to do it. It's just an easier way to do it. I'm just showing you guys this as a way to use it faster and a cleaner way to do it. Now, obviously, I'm going to break this rule because I have so many regular expressions that I'm going to do, and it's going to be all over the place, and we're just going to roll with it. But I'm just showing you the syntax right here. So weird symbols, and let me go ahead and run this through. Call it text through this text right here. Now, first before I even do this, let me get a purity score. Call it PS for purity score. I'll call it purity score right here. Right, and you'll see me do this. And basically this means how impure, quote unquote, is my data set in terms of symbols and whatnot. This is kind of easy to do. I'm simply going to use my weird symbol things I use right here, just for this sentence. On text, on that text right there. And I'm going to divide it by the length of text. All right. So the find all from this weird symbols right here, it's going to look for all these patterns right here within this text. And it's going to divide it by the total number of text to basically try to get a score. So basically, the higher the percentage, the more strange symbols. The lower, the less strange symbols. Oh, let me run this. There we go. I ran that already. Oh, let me do this. I didn't run that either. Boom, finally. And I have a strange for, it will not let me divide. Sorry. Let's take a length of this as well. That's why we got an error, because this was actually finding symbols and dividing by length, and they're like, what kind of math are you doing here? Sorry. So we have to wrap the numerator in the length and the denominator in the length. The numerator obviously is going to be looking for all the strange symbols, these certain patterns within this text, and this length text is just be the generic one up there. All right, I get a nice purity score. Let's see what it is. Oh, in this case, it's 0. I mean, it's really pure. That's kind of unfortunate. In this case, I guess whatever carriage returns and whatnot it was looking for, I guess this one is kind of hard. I was hoping it would kind of get this one, but it didn't, but it's fine. In our actual data set, this is the idea of how we're going to actually calculate purity scores right from for our purposes. So let's go ahead and do it. First steps first, let's go ahead and knock it out. See what we get in our purity score. So of our table right here, I'll call it DF, Wall Street Bets, and I'll call this impurity. And we're going to apply this on text L, this column right here, our lowercase 1. And again, we will be using the apply and lambda methodology throughout it. Boom, boom. And now I'll just simply do the math again. So in this case, I'm going to say, I'm actually going to have if else statement here. So in situations where I have an empty text, I don't want to apply the score because I'll get some sort of weird error. He'll blow up. Remember from last video, we kind of dived through that. So what I want to say is, I want to say if I is empty, give me the score of 0, right? Else, then let's do up here what I wanted to do. So I'll do this thing right here. Else, give me this value right here. So if I equals this, give me 0. Else, just give me whatever this is going to be. Now, obviously, it's going to be not text. This will be I here now. And that will be I, my lambda value. Let's go ahead and run this. All right. And now let's go ahead and get our sort this. Let's see what the top ones are. Let me get the text and the impurity score. So I'll do show me. Let me just filter this for textile. And the impurity score. All right, so here we got the impurity scores and our text. All right, notice it's 0 for everything that's empty. Perfect. So no errors. Now I want to sort this in descending order by impurity. In descending order, remember when you sort, guys, there's no descending keyword. It has to be ascending equals false. And it'll give me a lot. So let me go ahead and run this. So yeah, it gave me a lot. So let's do dot head. Let's say give me the top 20. And boom. Watch and learn noobs. All right, I got a 0.05 there, 0.04 over here. Remove my edit. This has like a text bracket. We have some URLs here. Okay, we got some impurities. Not too much. Not too much at all. This one's probably the biggest one. It looks like there's not much there anyway, but I think because it's just really small, it had a high score, so it kind of messed everything up. But here, we have impurities, all right? So we have some fun. Let's try removing this a little bit. Let me go ahead and do let's do a little histogram action here. Again, we're going to use Cgram. I wanted to use Plotly because it's interactive, but honestly, Plotly is better for when we're doing HTML websites or we're doing our presentations comes out in HTML. It's just too hard within our computers because our computers are all different. It's a browser-based graphing tool anyway, so we can use Cgram. Not a big deal. Data equals Wall Street Bets. X. Let me put impurity. Bins. I'll say 10. And KD equals false. Now, what KD equals false is, this is basically density curves. Like if you want to do a historical plot, if you want to do a histogram that's a density curve, that's what you use KDE for. We just want a normal histogram. So I'll go ahead and run this. And as you can see, majority of my impurities are 0. We have a couple that are large. We have a little outlier here, right? It's very hard to see because of this one. It messes up the graph, but we have that outlier here. But most of them are between 0.01 and 0.3. Majority are 0. All right, so from here, let's go ahead and start our cleaning. So first things first, let's remove any HTML escapes. All right, any HTML escapes. Escapes, for example, AMP, something like this. All right, something like this, AMP. Sometimes you see something weird like this. Right, and to do this, we're going to, let's first see if we have something like that. Let's do wonder in my, text L. Apply lambda. I wonder if something like this would work. Most of these are falses. Passes back into bets. Bracket, bracket. All right, so I clearly can't see it. Maybe my data set doesn't really have it. I don't know, right? This really just checks to see if any are there. Right, but either way, in this case, we will import a already preloaded library into Pandas. So this is the easy one. We don't have to pip. We don't have to do anything. So we do import HTML. Right, this is an HTML object. If you do any kind of web scraping, as we did in BAP, right, this is a cool library that has a lot of cool things for us. So in this case, what I want to do is, I'm going to go ahead and say HTML do unescape if there's any escapes. I wonder if this text has any unescapes. So if I do HTML dot, the function we want is unescape. And if I put text in there, yeah, it's still the same. Because I wrote it like text maybe. Right, so this is the function we want to use. And I will go ahead and create a new column called dfws bets clean text. And this is going to be dot text dot textl. HTML dot unescape. All right, now look, I don't know if you guys have it. Doesn't seem like I have it. And there we go. It cleaned it up for me. So what I want to check out now is, real quick, I want to see if there's any difference. Now this is probably a better way for me to see it. If there was any difference between the length. Could I do that? I don't think I want it. I think that might be a little too complex. But I do want to see if there's any difference between clean text and my other text at this point. But you know what? For the sake of the video, let's continue on cleaning. We can worry about that later. Right now, what we're going to do is anything HTML related, we're going to get rid of. So let's say we have something along the lines of tags, HTML tags, something like this. Right? If I want to get rid of that, now we go back into our regular expressions. And I'll just keep using my clean text. I'll just keep cleaning it step by step. DFW bets dot clean text now. I want to use this column right here. I'm keep working on it. And here, this you guys just have to copy, get from the Python file that I'm going to post. We're going to use sub in this case. All right, so this is basically what's happening here. Oh, let me get rid of that. Don't want that. All right, so this is essentially what's happening here. Let's see what the error here is. All right, so RE. Okay, we're basically going to go through I. All right, we're going to look for any of these patterns right here. Again, this is basically saying look for any kind of tabs and all the words within it. And anywhere where we find it, we're going to replace it with this right here. We can replace it with the space, or we can replace it with the empty space. It's completely up to you. In this case, let me go ahead and replace it with nothing. All right, so everywhere I find these patterns of tabs right here, it's going to find it and just replace it with nothing. All right, so then we go run that, and I clean that. Next step is Markdown. Markdown URLs. Like, something like, let's do, think just something like along the lines of something like this, right? We can get rid of that. We can clean that up as well. Substitute that with something. But I mean, later on, what we're going to do is we're going to actually take the whole HTML, right? So you guys will see that play into action as well. So in this case, what happens here is if there's some text before the URL, right? We want to remove this as well. Before we even get to the URL, we want to remove these texts right here. So let's go ahead and do clean text. We'll get to URLs in a second. And this time we're going to use this funky the regular expression. Bam. All right. This closes that, closes that, that closes that. Perfect. Okay, so this time we're not replacing it with something empty. This time, anytime any of these texts that are associated with the word, I haven't seen much scenarios like that, but let's say there is. It's going to remove those words, but it's going to still preserve the URL. Right? We'll get to the URL in a second. All right, that's clean too. Next step. So within the text, anything that has like brackets within it. Now look, for this one, you might want to, again, I leave this is up to you depending on your type of data. But let's say you have text or some sort of code in brackets like this for some reason. Okay, remember, this is just our text, right? We haven't broken it up yet, so we shouldn't have like brackets like this. Now, I don't know what kind of data set you guys are dealing with. Maybe you want that, or maybe you don't. In this case, to get rid of something like that, anything within the brackets, again, let me just copy this. This part's going to be the same. Bam. And now my sub I'm going to use for this one is that. All right, go ahead and run this. And I mean, run these as what makes sense for you. My code is kind of a mess. My data is kind of a mess, so I need some of this stuff. All right, now we have, this is a strange one. Standalone sequences of special characters. For example, something like this, right? But not something like this. All right, so this would be fine. Something like this, it's going to get rid of. Like what, a whole bunch of like special characters in a sequence is going to get rid of that. Let me go and grab this. Boom. And my next function will be bam. All right. Oh, you know what? I probably should have gotten that. Empty that space out. Let me rerun this. That's fine. At this point, that's going to be gone. So here again, we can choose what you want to substitute it with. I'm going to substitute with nothing. Just get rid of it. No space, no nothing. All right. Next step. Okay. Standalone sequence of hyphens and equals. So same concept. Boom, 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 boom. Something like that, or something like that. Bam. Grab this one right here. Bam. Now we go ahead and get rid of this space right there. Right, again, wherever it finds this, I just want to replace it. Again, you can replace it with anything you want. I'm going to replace it with nothing. I think we're almost done with this part of it. And, of course, sequence of white spaces. Ah, yes, white spaces. If you remember from my graph right here, I suspect that's what's going on here. I have a lot of white spaces for some strange reason. This will be a little cleaner to see in vision. And again, you go ahead and grab this. There's also a trim function we can use. That's really helpful. But this is also within certain phrases. Bam, got rid of that. Now, let's check the impurity score now, shall we? All right, all right. So let's do another impurity. I'll call this impurity 2. And let me just grab it from here. Before we ran it on the lower text, call this impurity 2. This time, I'll run it on my clean text. See how that worked out. And now, let me go ahead and check out. Here, I did a sort for text and impurity. Let me do now clean text, impurity, and impurity 2. And this time we'll sort by impurity 2. See how this came out. Oh boy, look at this, guys. Look at these images right here. We got images in here I gotta deal with. All right, let's see if my tool set, my current tool set allows me to remove this. You'll notice I have a lot of URLs here. All right, impurity 2. In this case, my impurity got worse. So in this case, my impurity got worse. This one got slightly worse. This one got worse. Why did these get worse? Well, I think we removed the texts for some things. And these weird symbols, whatever the weird symbols are in this case, it's not necessarily picking up the stuff we removed. Whatever these weird symbols are, it's not necessarily picking up the stuff we removed. So I guess my impurity score went up. That's okay. All right, we're not done. On to our next phase. All right, now, line breaks. Ah, yes. Let's go ahead and get rid of all the line breaks. All right. So we want to reassemble words that were separated by line breaks. I think I have. Let's see. Do I have anything like that here? You see how we have these words out here? It's possible they could be part of some sort of line break and everything just got shifted. I don't know, right? But the thing is, we want to any text word that has a line break in it, we want to remove the line break and we want to reassemble it into a single sentence. So I'm going to go ahead and create another column using the clean text, and I'll call it this clean text 2. All right, to symbolize our next stage that we're on. I'm going to use my clean text, lambda, and now grab this, separate it with a nothing. So let me just tag this comment for you guys. Remove line break and reassemble words. So here I substitute any line break as with nothing. And the dot strip function, that actually removes, that's another function that removes white spaces. If we're bringing in two sentences, we just want to strip any other white space. I mean, that should be gone from before, but just in case, we'll just have it there. Run this, and now I have my clean text 2. Fancy quotation. So finally, let's get to this part right here. Notice here, again, the Café Saint Raphael is located in Côte d'Azur, right? This right here, let's try to see if this finally works. So let me do text. All right. Instead of I'm going to say text. Let's see if that removes that finally, that line break. Or maybe I just can't. See that? All right. I mean, damn, I didn't want to do that. It got rid of all the spaces. I didn't think I wanted, for some reason, all my spaces are gone. Let me get that. Let's do it again, see what happens. Put a space in there. Okay, that's better. That's what I wanted right here. So maybe we rerun this again. Maybe we do want that space here. All right, good thing I checked it. All right, good. All right, so that, I put the space back there and reran this function. All right, no harm because I'm using the original clean text 1 and I didn't overwrite that. So hopefully that's okay. In fact, let me just recheck my clean text, make sure everything's all right. Uh-oh, I think I did it, guys. I have to rerun these lines. Hold on a second. Let me put my white spaces back and rerun them. Sorry. Easy fix. Easy fix. No problem. All right. Just run the clean text all over from here. Bam. Good thing I checked it, see what I was doing. Boom. 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 Purity 2 score. Impurity 2 scores are still higher. All right, whatever, we'll deal with it. And obviously, a boom. And we're good to rock. Let's see that now. Okay, we got our words back. Thank God, I lost all this. Sorry, guys, got a little zealot there. All right, but I fixed it. No harm, no foul. All right, again, I just went back. Wherever I removed the space between the quotes, remember we were doing substitutions? I just put a space back in so we have clear words. All right, now we got rid of at least the weird located thing here. And notice it has a space in there now. It was supposed to merge it together, but it's fine, I guess, in this case. Located. Strip. I did want it to be combined into one. Let's see. See, I want that here. So if I go... Let's roll with it. All right, this should actually remove line and resemble words. Let me just check this real quick. See if we can have a better one. remove my line. So let us try this. This is the same function? Okay. All right, people. Slightly change this parameter right there to this. Let's see if this works. Let me put my trim back, my strip back in there. Ah. So now instead of that, it does this right here. Located. I guess that's fine. So it still has a space in there, but it's better than nothing. Let's roll. All right, that's fine. I'll take it. I like this a little bit better. So I'm going to use this one. I'm going to rerun this one, clean text on this one. So I think it's slightly better. Excellent. Again, we're good because we're still working the original one. All right, good. Finally move on. We want to replace all our fancy ASCII of quotation marks, and we're going to finally get rid of these weird quotation marks. I think this one right here. Fancy quotation marks within ASCII equivalent. That basically, ASCII equivalent just basically means whatever quotations are on your keyboard, guys. That's what that means. Alrighty. So let's run this. This one I have. I'm going to go ahead and do this one again. Let's do it on text and see what happens. And instead of this, I will use my new one, which is... Actually, I have two of them I have to run, but back to back, but it's fine. All right, and put text in here. We have one for single quotes and one for double quotes. Aha, okay. I don't know if you can see the subtle difference. All right, let me put, all right, here with the old one, here's the new one. Notice the quotes here. Let me get rid of that comment again. Notice how these quotes, it's very, you have to zoom in to really see it. I think you'll see it if you guys are on your own machine. See how these are the weird quotes right here from where we got it, and these are more standard ones? That's basically what happened. So this worked perfectly. So let me go ahead and do this. Again, I'm going to do it on clean text too. And this time I want to apply this to everything. And obviously instead of text, it'll be I. Good, and I will do this again because that's for double quotes. Now we want to have a separate one for single quotes. Bam. All right, good. Next step, the accented characters. We want to get the accented characters, this right here. I don't know if it'll remove it or it's going to change it, but let's see what happens. Now here we're going to use another small little preloaded library called Unicode data. Process that. We don't have to pip install it. I'm going to use my lambda I here again. Alrighty, and from here, let me get my Unicode normalization function. This is the function we're going to use. All right, let's go ahead and run this. First, actually, let's go ahead and run it on my text object, see what that turns out to be. I remember this is the original. Let's see what the new one's going to be. Oh, it doesn't look like it did anything. If I compare them, yeah, the accents are still there, pretty much. Doesn't look much difference. All right, let's see what the second part does for us. Let's go ahead and run this. All right, and then let me do the second part. The second part is basically just to unify any texts that are separated by Unicode. We really don't have a situation right here. In that case, this will join it. All right, we don't have a scenario here like that. All right, let's see the accent. Let's see if the accented characters now work. We have another one for accented characters. Again, we're back to regular expressions. With ASCII, I guess it keeps the accents there, if possible, or then drops them. See, I think in this case, these are ASCII equivalent because I copy and pasted them, so we'll see if that works. All right, so here, this is what I want to do here. All right, first things first, let me apply this on my text. Bam. And the accents are still there. Yeah, the accents are still there. I guess, unfortunately, because I guess I copy and pasted or I typed it, these are already ASCII equivalent. All right, so these were fine. I can handle it. Even this weird one, which I was kind of shocked about. All right, either way, let's run it. Or convert it. And there's another step, another one. All right, bam. Let's see if this one makes any difference. Oh, okay. All right. Oh, all right. Oh, the heck? It just dropped it altogether. I don't want that. No. Hashtag sad. So in this case, in this scenario, what happened was, all right, check it out. I wanted to find its, I'm really happy with this one, guys, but check it out. What happened was it took the original, right, cafe, it dropped the E. The original was fine. It didn't really affect it, but this one did. So it dropped the E. My E is now gone. My O is kind of gone. I actually wanted to clean it. It looks like I couldn't find it. I'm not really happy with that, but for now, let's roll with it. So let me go ahead and run this. All right. All right. Finally, the URLs. Okay, finally, the URLs and the email part that I wanted to kind of address. Firstly, let's say we care about the URLs. We actually want to see the URLs. Maybe we care about it, maybe we don't. But let's say we want to extract the URLs. So the first thing I want to do is, let me create a new column. Right? If you look at my clean text 2, they're kind of gone here, but in my here, I have URLs here, I have URLs here. So let me extract out the URLs. I want to remove them, but before I remove them, let me extract them out. All right. Dot clean text 2. And in this case, we're going to use not sub function from our real expressions. We're going to use find all again. And this is something we actually did in ABI. We did a simplified version of this with emails and ABI. It's sort of the same thing. It's just a little more intense in this one. So here I'm going to run this. Oh. There, I think it ran. Let me run this again. Perfect. All right. And let's see if we have anything that bites. I mean, I should. And there you go. All right. If there's multiple text URLs, it's going to come back as a list. Right? It's going to come a list of different URLs. All right. So I have those URLs right here. And you know what? From here, I can actually break this down even further and see how many, if there's any URLs that keep repeating. Hypothetically, let's say if I have any URLs that are repeating. So I can actually do this. First, I want to only filter for this column text URL for only the ones that actually are where the lists aren't empty. So I'll use lambda to kind of help me out here. So I'll do df wsbets dot text URL dot apply lambda I, and basically wherever the length of that item in that cell, in this case a list, is not equal to 0. Right? This is going to give me a whole bunch of truths and falses and truths. I'm just going to stick this right back into dfWSBets bracket. So now this is just going to filter the table based on whether these are true or false or not. As you can see, bam. I'll stick this in another table. All right, but actually what I'll do is I don't want the whole thing. So let me do .loc. I'm sorry, for my non-Python programmers, this part is going to confuse a little bit. I'm going to use a property called .loc to select these rows that make this cut, and then, comma, out of these rows that make the cut, I only want the column text URL. So now instead of, like, if you see in this result, you see I have an ID column, ... goes away with text URL. Now you're just going to see text URL. So you're just going to see text URL that comes back as a series. But to this, I'm going to do my trick that we already know, where we explode it and convert it into a list. So I'm going to basically take this column of lists, I'm going to explode it and convert it into a list. Because you guys know I'm going to make another table out of this pretty much. So I'll call this URL list. And then this will be converted into a table. We'll call this df URL. Boom. So I have my little table right here. Bam. All right. Now all I want to do, guys, I just want to say, hey, Let's count up all the unique values, shall we? And I have a nifty little function called value counts that does this for me on any column. And as you can see, the top one, it does it in descending order. So because my top one is 1, I don't have any repeating URLs, which is interesting. Every URL is unique, but it looks like because even though they all come from Preview Reddit, a lot of them are from Reddit, because of the subcategories of the URL are different, it's kind of all over the place. All right, fair enough. All right, from here now, I got a separate column, for my URLs. I went on a whole tangent just checking them out. But if we go back to DFWS bets, now what I want to do is, now that I have removed the URLs and saved them somewhere, I can remove them from my main text. And again, that's only if you care about the URLs. We can do it to clean text too. Yeah, let's go do clean text too. Bam. All right. Get rid of that. All right. Now you should see from up here in line 99 in this line, it is the same pattern pretty much. Not pretty much, it is the same pattern, right? Except instead of using the find all function, we're using the substitute function. So rather than just find everywhere those elements in each cell of that column, now what I want to do is wherever I find that pattern, substitute it with this word URL. So I could go ahead and just remove it altogether, or you could substitute it with the word URL. I'll just substitute it with the word URL. My only concern, if I do this, will URL be the most common word? Probably. But we're going to see in a second anyway. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and run this. Now I'm going to do the same thing with emails, guys, in case you have emails. I don't think I have any emails in my thing. But in case, I'll extract the emails too. So let me extract my email first. Let's do, and this is we actually did something like this in ABI. Bam. Ours was, remember, A to Z, capital A to Z, 0 to 9. This one's slightly more fancy, but essentially it's the same concept. So I'll go here, find them all, put them in text email. All right, now check out, see if I have any. Looks like I got nothing. All right, fair enough. And after I extracted my emails, I can go ahead and now remove the emails as well. So excited. And we're almost done, guys. So now I can remove my email. And for me, it's not going to make any sense. It's probably not going to make any difference. Grab that. And just like before, the last time I replaced it with URL, this time I replaced the word with email. You can replace it with nothing if you want. It's up to you. Go ahead and do this. I don't think it's going to make a difference for me. All right. So we did our basics of pre-processing. There's more there to this than just this, because now we have to get into the parts of speech. But this is a good place for us to get at least this part, the main part of pre-processing done. And now, guys, I want to rerun back everything I did before. Okay? I want to now rerun my images. I have that code already. I'm going to make only one slight change to it. All right. If you guys remember, I'm going to copy my code from before. Just copy it all right here. This is from our TFDIDF code. Which I posted for you guys as well. It's on. So I posted the simple one, and I also posted the one on my data set under announcements. So you guys have that code. It's right here. But I'm going to make a slight change here, guys. All right. First of all, I'm not going to use text L. I'm using my clean text 2. All right. So let me go ahead and do this. I'm going to make my tokens on my clean text 2. And also I'm going to make another change, guys. Here, instead, before, if you guys remember, I didn't use stop words. I didn't remove stop words. I converted my code. I think I have it right here. I used this line of code right here. Get rid of this. Oh no, that's it right there. I had it. All right, perfect. All right, so I had this one right here before for you guys to see. This is line 122, what I had before, where I went through each text object, and I basically just got the text from it. Because remember, in this case now, if I run, I think I ran this line. If I run dfws bets token as a refresher, these are NLP objects right here. NLP objects. Now, I want to use my stop words this time. So this is slightly different. I'm going to filter out the stop words. When I filter out the stop words, it's going to create a list automatically. So this is gone. I don't want this now. Let me get rid of this. And check out how I use my stop words. My stop words are built. There's actually multiple ways to use it with spacy, but they're built into the spacy object. So here I have the bracket here again because I want the result to be a bracket. Right? And let me show you out here step by step how do we do this. So the result is going to be a bracket, right? I want to obviously loop through every item in the I row for the column token, right? So for word is the variable that's going to iterate through everything in I, right? Now, and then I want to return that word, right? I want that word outside of that for loop before the for loop to be in the list, my new list. But I have some conditions I want for each word in I have an if statement now. If, let's say, the word, I want the opposite of this. So if the word dot is stop, right, I don't want it. So the way to say I don't want this is we simply say if not. So literally the word, so remember each object right here is an object. This is why it's in parentheses. I mean, it just looks like a word, but there's more to it. So we're checking to see, hey, is this a stop word? Is that a stop word? Is that a stop word? If it's not a stop word, I want it. Okay? And I'm going to take it a step further. And if it's not a punctuation, yeah, that's right. Spacy has a lot of these goodies for us. And if it's not a punctuation, right? Where are you? I think I have a period somewhere here, right? I'll find it. If it's not a punctuation, or maybe this right here, the colon. Huh? I don't want that either. So if any of these words right here are stop words, I don't want it. If any of these words are punctuations, I don't want it. So I'm going to go ahead and run this new line right here. And now if you check out token now. Oh, where'd my colon go? Where'd Where'd my colon go? It's gone. So up here we have this post contains content, no problem. This this is gone. That is gone. Right? It's just post contains content now. Also, notice asterisk, asterisk, and my colon. They're gone. They're gone. All right, so boom. That was the change I wanted to make. And everything else is pretty much going to be the same. All right, so we'll do this. Bam, bam, bam. So now we actually removed our stop words using spacy. It's that easy, guys. We're gonna have other fun. We're gonna have some more fun with Stacy in the next video when we finally do our phrases. Oh, what happened here? Let's do that here. Let's see what happened. That's good. I do my TF list explode. That's fine. This guy again. All right. I thought I got rid of this. Did we get rid of this? Hold on. I thought I got rid of that. Listen, guys, I got a slight error. It's the worst time to have an error while you're doing a video. I simply did reset index to fix that. All right, let me see what's going on here, guys. So here again. Sorry. I already filtered my TLS Let's Explode for any empty. This is usually an empty thing again. Let's see what's going on here. Good, good, good. All right, if I do reset, let's see if it allows me to do a reset index on this. All right, this doesn't make any sense, so let's do TF list to explode. To list. Yeah, that looks good. That looks good. That looks perfectly fine. I don't know what the issue here is now. Let's see what happened here. The error saying, yeah, type flow has no length. So this is the same error as before. This is where we have empty spaces, but I filtered for empty spaces. Here, text is not equal. Let's see for a second, guys. Give me a second. Let me pause this for you guys.